Today I'm going to be giving you a bookshelf tour. I just figured that it would probably be the best way for you guys to see what kind of books I'm into, and I just love showing people my bookshelf, so any excuse for me to do that and I will. I'm also going to go through and show you some books that you might not expect to see on my bookshelf, and you may not have heard of them, but they are incredible, so I'll just tell you why I love them so much. So welcome to my bookshelves. Bookshelf or case, or whatever you like to call it, number 1. This bookshelf is made from wood and it has glass front doors and cute little handles. It has glass doors because my mum doesn't like dusting bookshelves. As you can see, it's all mine. It's all very, very beautiful. Okay, so how I order my bookshelves is I put them in genre. So as you can see here, I have all my historical books on ancient Egypt, and then I have historical fiction on ancient Egypt. I like to touch my books, as you can see. Sorry for the lagging. I don't know why. Here I have my factual Greek books and then my fictional ancient Greek books like Percy Jackson and the Goddess Test, for example. Down on the second shelf I have all my favourite books, and we have Anne Broche's Sister of the Travelling Pants, Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling, obviously, and the Hogwarts collection. I have Tomorrow When the War Began by John Marsden, that entire series, as well as the Ellie Chronicles, and I have the Infernal Devices and the Mortal Instruments. Down on the third shelf we have books that are a little bit more sci-fi, I guess, like the Ashes trilogy, Twilight, Eragon, Mockingjay, I'm Number 4, and the Interrogation of a Shia LaBeouf series. On the bottom shelf I have all of my university textbooks. I'm studying primary education and I have a lot of textbooks. Then we have the Rachel Kane vampire series. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like Morgantown or something, and there's like 12 of them. There's a heap that I won. And then these are all assorted young adult fiction that I have been collecting and enjoy. I am a robot sent here to lag. I don't know why it's doing that. It's really annoying. I'm sorry. I'm obviously narrating afterwards. This is bookshelf number 2. It is technically my mother's bookshelf, exactly the same as the one in the rumpus room, but I have pretty much entirely taken over it now. So on the top shelf we have a mixture of adult fiction, which I've started to get into a lot more in recent years, and we have books like Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code, and I realise now that it's showing you the second shelf and not the first shelf anyway. Anyway, on the second shelf we have a lot of classics such as Treasure Island, Pride and Prejudice, Wuthering Heights and all that kind of stuff. Then we have self-help books and true stories, biographies, things like that. That there is my brother and sister-in-law's wedding album. Then, whoa, it's kind of a bit haywire. But anyway, there are like things like Bibles, and then we have cookbooks, and then my children's books, the small existence of my mother's books, atlases, and then down here underneath the bookshelf are my dad's books, which are tractor and bulldozers and parts and all that kind of farming stuff and diesel mechanic things that he does. And then boom, it's back to me. This is my little narrating gear. The microphone's supposed to be like here, so I'm like sexy stewardess or whatever, but it just flops over there, but it works anyway. So what I'm going to do next is go through... I really actually don't need that on. What I am going to do next, the robot's back, is go through and show you 5 books from my bookshelf that you may not have expected and may not know about, but you should. The first one I have is Lock and Key by Sarah Dessen. I first just randomly picked this up from the school library when I was in like year 10. Just thought, why not? And I loved it. It's about this girl who is abandoned by her mother, and then so she goes to live with her sister who's married and has quite a rich husband, and she hates them and hates the idea of them, but then as she goes along and like they put her through school and stuff, she realizes that things that her mother told her aren't quite true, and she really begins to enjoy her life, and she meets a guy, and it's just a really, really good book. And I've read a few other Sarah Dessen novels, and they all are different, but they all kind of are located in the same town, and often you'll have characters in different books even though they're not related, and I love that. And if you haven't read any of Sarah Dessen's, please do. They are really, really phenomenal. The next one I have is Birthmarked by Caragh O'Brien. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's been ages since I've read this. I can't remember the very specifics of what happens, but I know that this town switching babies, and it sounds a lot like Switched, which is kind of the series I'm reading at the moment, and it's about midwives, and I can't really remember anything else, but I remember it was a really, really good book. So Valley of Secrets, oh my goodness, this is probably one of my favourite books of all time. My mum borrowed this from the library for me when I was in year 5 or 6, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a big person's book. I'm not going to be able to read that. I really hope you can see it. How great is that cover? There's a different cover that is also amazing. And it's about this guy who goes to live in his uncle's abandoned house, and it's like kind of a mansion-ish, but not quite, and it's all overgrown with greenery, and he finds these journals about his uncle's adventures in the Amazon, and how he brought back these animals that hadn't been discovered before. And then Stephen, I think the guy's name is, yeah, he goes into this huge garden that they've got, and he starts finding them, and he has this amazing relationship, and it's just wow. I want to reread that again as well now. The next book I have is The Deep End of the Ocean. I read this earlier this year. It's by Jacquelyn Mitchard, and oh my goodness, it's about this woman whose son goes missing when I think he's like 2 or something, 3-year-old Ben is gone, it says, and it's just about, I think it goes over like 15 years or something crazy, and the mother's perspective on life, and it's just a really inspiring book, and you kind of, it's one of those books where everything mostly gets tied up, so I really, really liked that, and it is a fantastic book. A Stolen Life by Jacee Dugard. This is the biography of the girl who was kidnapped for 18 years. She ends up having 2 kids to the guy who kidnapped her, and it just goes through pretty much from the day she was kidnapped until kind of the day she wrote it, I guess. And it is just so inspiring how she, deals with the adversity of being in a place that no one knows about. She's forced to not say her name, she's forced to pretend her children aren't her children, and it's just incredible, like the mindset that she holds today. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I will pop in the comments all of the books and their authors, and I hope you have a tops day. See ya.